Taco Bell, where they play copyright music all day long.
Three small drinks.
Hey, there's a lull in the copyright. That slight lull in copyright music. Now we eat our Taco Bell like good Protestants. Then I have to talk to her about not drinking beer anymore.
Then they gave me $2 less an hour than what he said. Then I didn't get tip share. So yeah, I got screwed on this check. Then my car insurance, they say I'm going to relapse or lapse or whatever if I don't pay that by February 27th. And that's double the price now. So it's kind of like, yeah. So.
See it right here.
Okay. All right. Here. So you can make the remainder on the 10th of March. That's what you're saying? Yes. I can do it on the 10th. Because this job, she guaranteed me full-time hours. And I already talked to her today. So, yes, the 10th.
Take a bite, come back. All right, she's conducting business, so go ahead and finish these few bites right here from outside the car. Okay, now we're officially at the Taco Bell vlog. I ate a soft taco prior because Linda had some business to do. So this is Taco Bell. I got one soft taco, well, two soft tacos, I ate one. And I believe it's a Chipotle burrito. And Linda got a beefy. She likes the beefy melt. See if that's beefy or Chipotle. And
this is too small to be a beefy.
It's too small. This one's probably a beefy. That's a beefy? You know the weight of it.
Oh.
Okay. So no cigarettes or beer right now. We're just having taco. I do not drink and I do not smoke cigarettes. Nor will I ever. Okay. Sweetie.
What?
Hey, thank you, Lord, for the food. Mikasi. Okay, and you got your beefy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't need a cigarette right now, sweetie. It's time to eat. Okay?
I'm fine. It's cold.
Right. That's what it looks like. It's a little taco with cheese. Soft taco. This is a mild packet. Putting the mild packet on there. Now there should be a bag right here. This is, you can hold this bag. Hey, sweetie, come here. Seriously.
I hate it when you open your mouth.
Okay. She's got to have a cigarette. So. She does smokes quite a bit, but she's cutting down to like 1 or 2 cigarettes a day. This one will take some time. Alcoholism is a very serious problem in society. It's a very serious problem. I know people that are afflicted by it, have cousins that are afflicted by it. It's a serious problem. They relate it to food. It has nothing to do with food. Alcoholism has nothing to do with food. It's not replacing food. It's not connected to food. It's the devil's mess. It's there to trick you. And alcoholism will take your life. It will take your life. Taco Bell, not the best. It's better to eat Whole Foods. And this is their thing. Well, what about fast food? Well, fast food's not the greatest ever. But it's not as bad as alcoholism. Anyway. It's all chemical in the end anyway. I'll save this one to eat with Linda. Because believe me, my friends would love to see it. My enemies would hate to. It's kind of a combination between the two. When you're married, you have what's known as a wedge. Or they say in the Bible, I believe it's in Songs of Solomon, it talks about the foxes in the winery. Those can be anybody. It can be any type of ideal. It can be anything. And so the wedge is part of it. When we cut back, she'll be sitting next to me and we'll be eating together. It'll be very difficult to do, but I'm gonna reason with her and try to go for sobriety. With Jesus Christ, there's only sobriety. And that's what heaven is. There will be a time, thine enemy, that you will watch me feast for all of time. There will be a time. So do what's right unto God, or you'll be punished to watch me feast for all of time. When you are done with your cigarette, then we may eat together, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you. You're hungry, right? We prayed, right? Are those true things? Cheers. Okay, we have Taco Bell sauce here. Do you want a Taco Bell sauce?
No, not today.
I'll take one. Here. This one's mine because you looked at them to make sure. This is the Chipotle Ranch, Chipotle Chicken Ranch. And Linda has the beefy burrito. This is the one that she likes. I like the Chipotle Ranch, Chicken Ranch. And then I get some of the beef from the soft tacos.
I'm fine. Thank you.
Did you want some hot sauce?
I already told you no.
No hot sauce or anything?
No. It's disgusting and nasty. Eat too much.
Is yours okay?
Yes, it's fine. Thank you.
They have an app.
I should need to get to work. I can't be
Okay.
late all the time. I can always heat this up in the microwave at work. Oh. Okay. Ready.
I did get one napkin.
That's good. What's I gotta change?
And believe me, when you're in HE double hockey sticks, you won't be watching something like this. You'll be watching me in heaven. Let's see. They'll probably play this video in the little lobby of purgatory or whatever you want to call it before you step inside. Make your decision. I would. Instead of sitting around judging me, thinking you're all big bad for judging me.
Don't judge me.
You didn't finish your beefy melt.
It's too cold. I'll heat it up at work. I'll just tell her I was running a little late.
Anyway, I like mild, so. All right, we're in the parking lot of a Colonial Pen, going towards Christian Brothers, a good song by Elliott Smith. And we're gonna pick up some Long John Silvers and drop them at your door. Sorry, I was burping because I had some Taco Bell. Long John Silvers. All right, we're pulling into a Long John Silvers. And I'm just going to order it at the window, go through like a customer, and I'll drop it off at your door. And I want to talk to you about some of my evangelical theater. So evangelical theater, just real quick. I played Luke. Luke was an artist, and he was a physician. So he was an artist and physician. and he followed Paul. Well, he followed Jesus Christ. That was his God. That is God. But he learned from Paul, which I didn't really know that when I played him. I played more Luke when he was presenting it to Theophilus, when he was presenting everything to Theophilus. Also played Peter, too. Played Peter as well. Did a monologue piece with Peter, who was the rock. Peter was a fisherman, too. Peter the fisherman. Apostle Peter, or St. Peter. Just doing some calculations. So when I played Luke, Apostle Luke in the Adventures with Jesus, an outdoor theater known as Hip Pocket, back in maybe the summer of 93? No, it'd have been the summer of 94. But anyway, regardless of the time, it was still 1994 AD. And I started by going to the library and looking up books on St. Luke and Apostle Luke. Really, it was St. Luke is what he kind of goes by. He was the one that hung out with Paul. But the books that I got were very simple. They showed kind of paintings of Luke. And then they showed, then they had a brief description of what Luke was. And then I just read some of Luke and would go into my closet and shut the door and get on my knees and pray for hours. So I figured that's what Luke would do. And then my first line in the play, which was the first line in the play, was, "Dear Theophilus." And the friend of mine, this Jewish guy that was playing Jesus, I think he went into business. He lives in Brooklyn now. He always laughed because he was backstage. He was a very good Jesus. He reminded me of Liam Neeson a little bit. A young teenage Liam Neeson or something. Very deep voice. His name was Mark. He'd laugh and he'd say, every time you say "Dear Theophilus," it sounds like you're saying "here at the office." I guess because I said it quick, "Dear Theophilus, here at the office." That's one thing I remember about the play. It was a good little play. It was like, as if it was directed by Fellini or something. It was directed by a mime, and he's also an art director. Johnny Simons is the guy's name. He's a Navy guy that learned mime, and he was also danced at TCU and studied at Duke too. But anyway, regardless, we did that, and so I read about Luke. My grandma was a big Baptist. There was a church right next door to the theater, and it's a Baptist church. So she was real excited that we were going to do Luke, and we did it from the Bible. So the script was the Bible, which was weird because you could bring the Bible. We would always have a discussion on which Bible we were using, and it was, my friend Mario, who's passed away, he played several different characters in it and would always come in with King James. And the director would go, "No, we're not doing King James Version. And we're doing NIV." So we were doing the NIV version. And I remember the first day of rehearsal, Johnny had kind of gotten a huddle, and we all sat there. And Johnny is a very charismatic, kind of emotional. Times, he gets angry sometimes, and it's like working with a football coach rather than like a director. So you don't know if you're going to get the football speech. But this was kind of like that. So he was all kind of sitting around, and he kind of got up, "We're not doing The Last Temptation of Christ. This is not Martin Scorsese." We're not doing, he told everyone what we were not doing. And then he used rock and roll music in it. He used some Bob Dylan. He used the band. "When Shall I Be Released?" Whichever that one is. I'm probably saying it wrong. It's a Bob Dylan song. "When Shall I Be Released?" I played we all played like different characters if you weren't playing Jesus. But I played one of the palm carriers that had the wave the palm thing and went out during that song. I think I played the blind character that was healed, and then Mark healed me by doing this thing, and we did this weird kind of mime stuff. And then I'd run out in the middle of the theater and shake this palm leaf, which I thought was a great thing. I felt great power in doing that because it was a real palm leaf. So it was like a moment of what they call beyond Holy Theater. It's Holy Theater is when you read it. We were memorized, so it was real theater. And of course I played Luke, but Luke only really introduced the scenes and stuff. And we did it right out of the Bible, and then did scenes out of the Bible. And that was my first evangelical. Then later on, way later, after my second marriage and my kids came, I played Peter. But I did it from a monologue that was based on this comic evangelical group, or this gospel group that did comedy and used, the New Testament or gospel to make it real. So we did a version of what they did, but we made it more kind of standard. Peter talking about the rooster and betraying his name or denying his name 3 times, and then before the rooster crows, and his shame of denying Christ. And I played Peter. I did some mime in that too, a little bit of mime. It was like a kind of a segment, like a one-man show kind of thing, but we did a whole vignette of different shows. Boom or something like that. Something about, I don't know, you'd have to have seen it. It was a vignette. But there were also, we did an Arthur Miller piece too, which I thought was strange. But we did that as well. This was years later, long time later. Probably between the two were 2004, almost 20 years difference between the two of doing evangelical. Then I also played Christian in John Bunyan's and Apollyon and John Bunyan's Pilgrim's Progress. And then I eventually got to play John Newton, who was a writer of the poem Amazing Grace, who later on was turned into a song, a Protestant protest song, pretty much. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now can see. That poem, it was given to Cowper, also known as Cooper. So that poem was given to Cowper, who basically said it should be published and made it famous. There's another famous poet that no one's heard of his poetry. They call him Cowper, but he was known as Cooper too, spelled like Cooper. And so he published it, and Amazing Grace became an anthem for the Protestant Reformation, and one of the first anthems for civil rights. Pretty important character. It was in Wikipedia, so my name was in Wikipedia. Then it was replaced because the original play was called A Wretch Like Me. Then the play was done again called Amazing Grace, which was done by another actor. I believe he was from California. You're gonna see a lot of traffic right here. I'd say my favorite was Luke. Luke's a sincere character because he was kind of a witness to it all. And he also wrote a book too called Luke, which is once known as the New Testament through the power of Christ. Yeah, Luke was probably one of my favorites. That was a favorite time of mine too. I was slowly becoming a Bob Dylan fan at the time, but it was a lot of fun to play Luke. All of it was fun. It was a lot of fun. God surely is a blessing to us all. Gonna be a BITCH, as they say, because I have no idea. I'm gonna have to ask. Oh wow, it's Animal Hope. This is great. I didn't know it existed. Oh, I didn't even know this existed. Animal Hope. I told him about Edmund. how he ran into our place. We rescued him because they rescue animals. It's pretty cool. I didn't even know they existed. They're back here in this little, like it's a long hall kind of thing. Oh, it's for adoption, I see. And I'll show you the thing I didn't know. Mostly cats on the left. They get the dogs on the right. So they have dogs and cats. I'll show the sign right here. It's adoption is 817-984-1129. They have a sign, and I'll show the sign. This one. Animalhope.org. So I think we probably used this once when we had 20 cats.